Welcome, folks. We are at Advancing Preconstruction 2026 in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am here with one of the new co-founders and founders of a precon tech solution. The hall is full of them. The exhibitors are, there's so many of them. So Sunil Dorairajan is here. He is founder and CEO of Wyre AI. Welcome, Sunil.
Thank you, Gareth. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Considering you're fairly new to the market, I would imagine that you're feeling massive benefit from the conference. How's it been so far?
Oh, this is great, especially meeting a lot of people that I've known in the industry and working with also seeing other fellow founders and together like a lot of precon leaders who are looking to change, right?
Love it.
So we've already experiencing a great flow back to our booth.
The appetite is good. That's what we want.
Yep.
So let's give us some context. Let's dive into your background, Sunil. Let's talk about Pipe and the acquisition of Pipe to Autodesk. Give us an understanding of what Pipe is and how did you come about founding Pipe? What problem did you solve?
Absolutely. So I'm a construction project manager turned into an entrepreneur. I spent 10 years in the field on heavy commercial construction projects. So I had to deal with plans, specifications, dealing with design changes to precon, bidding, conceptual estimates, SDs, DDs, CDs. I've seen it all. And a good part of my life in construction was spending time in operations and closing out projects. So at Pipe, the first product we launched was called Pipe Closeout. Like closeout is a big pain and the contractor wants to move on to another project, but there's a big amount of retention that is tied to the contractor fulfilling all the obligations. So we came up with a very innovative solution for contractors to really orchestrate and organize and collect all closeout documentation. And that was our first product in the market. Then we evolved into Pipe Auto Specs, which was our flagship product. We were, like most of my customers call it now, or the previous Pipe customers, we were one of the first chat GPTs in construction.
Right.
So
wow.
We were able to understand PDF documents, index it, extract information. And I think the filters that we ran were like natural language queries that exist today. So
what year was that, Sunil?
this was back in 2017.
Yeah, wow, you were early at that stage. Yeah, very nice. And then Pipe, obviously Autodesk came knocking. You sold to Autodesk, stayed with Autodesk up until
towards the end of 2024. I stayed
Nice.
a little over 4 years at Autodesk.
Yeah,
Yep.
good. And you got fed up with the corporate world? The entrepreneurial spirit was burning
I
inside.
would say that more so, like natively a product builder.
Yeah.
I love being close to construction and I love technology and this keeps me going. So after Autodesk, I decided that I want to get back in contact and here I am.
Brilliant. So why Wyre? Well, first of all, give us a bit of context to what Wyre solves and then give us an understanding of why you decided that this was the part of pre-construction that you were going to solve.
Absolutely. So the way I look at the landscape in the last 10 to 15 years, there's been a lot of motion in project management across different players. And I think there's a lot of innovation that has already happened. And precon is a space that has not received a lot of attention, so to speak. And only in the last 3 to 5 years, like precon is seeing a surge in technology adoption. And I think there are many fundamental factors leading up to that. One is burnout. Construction companies are not able to keep up. And the second thing is a lot of, I would say, like experienced estimators, precon managers are going to retire. So companies are looking for ways to make sure that the processes and the means and methods of putting a bid together, a proposal together can continue and at a high velocity. So going back to my roots, when I spent 10 years in construction, I spent a good amount of my time in precon as well. And the problems I saw in precon is these bids come in, they're due in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I have a massive set of 500-page documents and 3,000 pages of specs. How do I read through all this and make sure I'm not missing something? Do I need to focus on bid coverage? Do I have all the right bidders? Or do I focus on scope coverage? Or do I focus on, are there any gaps in these documents? This is exactly what Wyre solves today. Contractors are always chasing new projects, and that's basically, I used to say that the department that keeps the lights on is precon, right? It's not as glamorous as operations, but those are the people who keep the lights on.
I'm pushing Sunil to get the pre-construction department to cut some ribbons. That's what we should be seeing in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're the silent heroes,
Yeah.
as I would call it. But yeah, so my own problems of just navigating through bid days, and then even after the project is won, having to write those scopes of work was a very painful, tedious process. I felt like I was reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
And when so much time goes in pre-con, I think why should a project manager should have to start from scratch?
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So all those led to me forming Wyre AI. And at the core of Wyre AI, we have two distinct products, but they work in tandem too. One is called WireScopes, and the other one is called WireCheck. With WireScopes, basically upload your plans and specifications, and we can extract all trade-specific scope packages. And with WireCheck, it already detects like if there is any anomalies in your documents, if plans conflict with specs, or if plans conflict with another set of plans. So we are able to do a lot of constructability reviews and making sure that these documents jive so that we can eliminate the bid risk. That's the thing that we are solving eventually, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be going fast, but while going fast, are you careful? And what are the things that can come back to bite you if you don't have good, basically like risk coverage in the pre-construction process?
Because that one interests me the most, WireCheck, because identifying gaps, unless you've been there, done that, as you say, you've been in operations and pre-con for 10 years, you've gathered that experience. Like, there's a lot of people with that experience. The knowledge retention is going to be difficult to retain in our industry. That's the bit that I'm excited about. How important is that to estimators and pre-con folks, and what's the response been like?
Oh, absolutely. So most of the contractors we talk to and our customers, for them, catching these risks early on is very important for a couple of reasons. One, they can qualify what's included in the bid and what's excluded. Because if there is conflicting information and they don't get the direction from the architect, they need to say this is what they're carrying, and they need to qualify that. And if they don't, the owner's going to assume something more expensive is what the contractor is carrying.
Yeah.
And the second thing is a lot of these contractors a lot of contractors we are working with, they are able to demonstrate to the owners they are working with, saying, hey, these are all the design quality management issues. So what WireCheck does, it's a design quality management tool, end of the day.
Yeah.
It's a QA/QC tool that the architect is publishing, and we are making sure that those documents are constructible and don't have a lot of defects, which basically leads to a lot of downstream RFIs. And these RFIs have major repercussions on team morale, cost of the project, things slowing down, subcontractor relationships. I mean, there can be a chapter about this that can be written. But overall, it's basically something that will erode fee. And all contractors are trying to do is protect the margins. Whether you're carrying a 2% fee or a 4% fee, I mean, construction is a very tight industry. Yeah. And leaving room for exposure can really cost people their jobs too.
Yeah, 100%. Is there any case studies? Obviously, give us an idea how long you're up and running, because I know you're fairly early, but have you any case studies, ROI kind of case studies that we can, or even quantifiables that you can share?
Absolutely. So we've been building Wyre AI in stealth for almost now 16 months, close to. So work with more than 300 pre-construction managers nationally and internationally, and even some design partners as well. And I think on scopes, like typically what takes a week, we are able to do that in a couple of hours. And again, that is our draft output, I would say. There's still a human in the loop, which we highly advocate for, because the industry is built like, I come from the contractor side, so it's always like trust but verify.
Yeah.
So, and we'll talk about AI shortly here, but I think the most important thing is give them something it's like a jump start. Yeah. Hey, I get these 500 pages of documents. How do I demystify this? How do I unpack this very quickly? And using the right technology to be able to get those insights. So we are dramatically changing from something that took 40 hours to maybe 4 hours.
Wow.
So that's like a 90% reduction in time. Plus, of course, you need to add the time for pre-con managers spending time to curate the data.
Yeah.
But that's a massive decrease in time. With respect to WireCheck, I mean, there are studies by McKinsey and other outside organizations that say every RFI has like an administrative impact of $1,200.
Yeah.
And what does that cost? That's just the cost of a pre-con manager or a project manager writing an RFI to an architect, the architect looking at the documentation, responding back to them. Now you compound that by 100 times, 200 times, 300 times. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars just lost in administrative burden, leave alone the cost of the work. Yeah. The cost of the work could run into millions if you compound that. So like recently, one of the contractors who's using WireCheck, the plans called for a transfer switch in one location in the drawing, and the spec said they have to replace. So there was conflicting information between the plans. Plan said this needs to remain, and the spec said it needs to be replaced. So that's like a $25,000 line item.
Yeah.
So there is like an instant ROI that they're able to see, so that they can now ask the question and be able to clarify that without assuming that they're carrying a brand new transfer switch in their bid, because that's what the owner would assume. So we are really catching and mitigating those risks, which could compound to tens of thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that is early on. That's a good example. You mentioned something there when I kind of asked you about design partners. So are design partners looking at Wyre AI and saying, you know what, we could use this as well?
Absolutely. One of our contractors said, like, whatever architects publish, it needs to be Wire certified. So that would be
that would be nice. Yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah.
I would love to work towards that vision and make it happen someday. Absolutely, I have the right team to build these things and have the right group of people who can help me build these things. But overall, that's where if we are able to help the architects and engineers in doing design quality management, the contractors would have to worry less about those things.
Yeah.
And I think everyone thinks of like, hey, we want like zero RFIs. Like what they mean is they want zero construction RFIs, so that a lot of these issues can be vetted in the pre-construction phase. So helping collaboratively with like architects and engineers and the design team to air out all these gaps, so that when the shovel hits the ground, you're like running at 100 miles per hour and not raising an RFI, and then the whole work stops for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen.
Yeah, no, that's a dream at the end of the day. And as long as operations don't mess up the 15% margin, we're good.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. We talked about AI. Obviously, AI. You saw the exhibitors. It's everywhere. It's in every kind of tagline. It's in every subject line that people are putting out in the market. And Wyre AI, how much AI is involved? And then outside of Wyre AI, how do you think AI will affect the pre-construction workflow?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with the first question on Wyre AI. So we are an AI native company from day one.
Yeah.
So we have AI built into all the processes. Like we are doing a heavy compute on these drawings and specifications, which are multimodal in nature. There's a lot of context between drawings, images, text, cross relations. And we have our own like knowledge graphs that can have a lot of entity relationships between the plans and the specifications, and also the work that needs to be put in place, or scope packages. But overall, we are a AI native company. I look at AI as like the horizontal infrastructure, right? Like intelligence is becoming abundant, but being able to harness that energy and channel it to the right workflows, and giving the user the trust that, okay, what the output is makes sense, and this is how I would capture the scope, or this risk item is very, very critical. So because a lot of customers that we talk to, they are working with some models of something. They feel like, because everyone feels enabled, and I love it. I think everyone's like pushing the boundaries that didn't exist about 3 to 5 years, right? Like right now it feels like there's no ceiling to what we can imagine and what can happen, which is phenomenal. And that's one thing that really excites me, that I'm building a company in this phase. And that's really energizing. So back to Wyre AI, we are AI native company. We at Pipe, we built basically AI-based solutions. So we understand these documents, and of course we didn't deal with the drawings back in the Pipe days, but right now we are a heavy document on the drawing intensive platform, where we can ingest these documents, make the cross references, and export the details. And I think if I remember your second part of the question, which was
basically outside of Wyre AI, the whole pre-construction workflow. Where do you see AI influencing the most?
I would say I think AI is going to touch every part of precon. I think precon is sitting on a lot of data.
Yeah.
I think everything from historical costs, everything from scope issues, everything from design.
Yeah.
I think it's like precon is ripe for AI disruption. There can't be a better use case. I think operations also has a lot of AI use cases, but precon at the core, because everything that you're trying to do something is based on documents.
Yeah.
And now there is basically you have document intelligence. How do you actually build workflows that are coming from these documents? So there'll be more AI-powered workflows on budgeting, cost estimating, scoping, like what Wire is doing, checking the documents. So I can continue to see a lot of ways in which companies like Wire, as well as others, are going to push all aspects of AI in precon.
And Sunil, do you think that like estimators will be listening to this, precon managers will be listening to this, like worrying about AI and if they should be using it or not? Is it a case, or is there a case for don't be worrying about it? It's going to be in the software that you use. You yourself won't have to go and get trained up on Cloud Coworker or Cloud Code. It's a case of just be able to use or master the software, and the AI in the background and the software will do
Absolutely, right? Like we don't want model mechanics.
Yeah.
So we want precon managers.
Yeah.
And I think some of them are very talented. They want to be hands-on. I think that's great. I think we are working with them too. They are pushing us, and they're building stuff with us, which we love. But at the same time, like, as a GC, as a contractor, your business is to build projects, right? Not models, or fine-tune these models and understand where these models. So Wyre AI is a model agnostic company. So we know basically which models work the best. So every day in Wire Labs, we are continuously running many experiments, right?
Yeah.
And we are very purpose-built. We are mission-focused on this. Whereas if you have like a precon manager doing certain things with one model, the model deprecates, another model comes to the market, are you rebuilding your workflows? That person leaves, what happens?
Yeah.
So there are many things, and I think some companies realize that already. Some companies have to go through some experiments to get to that stage. But I feel very confident. We want to be their partner, right?
Yeah.
I think we need to adapt with them. And I think some companies will realize that, I think, instead of like investing and not knowing what the outcomes will be, we are off-the-shelf software today. We are commercially launched, and customers can use us, and they can use us in tandem with anything else that they are doing on their own, so that like they can compare and contrast what Wire is able to do versus what they can do with the models themselves.
Very good, very interesting. And you mentioned as well features. Obviously, Wyre AI, you've got loads of features because you're so early, and you've so many partners and people that are helping you with the product. What's been the biggest feature requests from precon managers or GCs?
Absolutely. So I think being an AI native platform and processing documents, there's a lot of information that comes out of AI, right? Yeah. Being able to maneuver and manipulate that data is so critical. So what the users are asking for is a lot of simple but very powerful edit functionality within the platform. Being able to like, okay, I have these scope packages. How do I reassign? How do I merge these things? So there's a lot of like edit functionality that's baked into the product. So it's not even like AI driven. It's mostly workflow driven. That's very important for them. And we are already on our path to build many robust integrations with Building Connected, Procore, Autodesk Construction Cloud. So that's also a commonly asked question.
Okay.
I would say we have more innovative features coming, but I'll reserve those for later.
Come on, Sunil, give us an exclusive. Give us an exclusive. Give us something. Get us excited.
Okay. So one of the favorite things is, as we are working with many precon managers, the AI is going to extract, put everything in a nice indexed CSI formatted scope packages. But one thing, as we are working with the precon managers, is, hey, we have our own scope checklist. How can you help us with the checklist that we've already built and we've used for the last 10, 20 years? So we are unveiling a concept which is getting built into the product called BYOC, bring your own checklist.
Very good.
So it's like, so that we want to meet where the customers are rather than having them to adapt to our software. So Wire will basically extract and organize all the scope packages. But if I'm a concrete estimator, I'm at any of the large general contractors, I've been using my checklist for the last 20 years. And instead of me adapting to Wire, can Wire adapt to me? That's exactly what we are solving with your bring your own checklist.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very powerful, and it can index all the results based on your checklist and make your whole process of validating the results from Wire and potentially catching gaps that didn't exist in your checklist through our extraction process. We are demonstrating very high value in that process.
That's a funny one because it's a common theme. Well, it's a common misconception that every pre-construction manager and every estimator works the same way in every company, but that's not the case. So being able to customize it must be massive.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that within a company, every user can have their own way of like tracking the scopes, and we can adapt to that. So I think that's going to be a very big, meaningful change that will add a lot of value to customers.
Brilliant. Well, that feature and Wyre AI, if there is someone listening to this podcast, Sunil, and they say, you know what, I need to get more information, I need to ask Sunil a question, I need to get a demo, where's the best place to go?
I would say right now you can go to our website. It's www.wireai.io. So please go there, fill out the demo form. Somebody wants to reach out to me directly, please feel free to. I would love to hear from you. My email is S for Sam, D for David @wireai.io.
Brilliant. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put that email address, I'll put the link to the website and also the link to your LinkedIn for everyone to just click on there, connect with you, follow you, and hear about the exciting features that you're going to be bringing out.
Okay.
But looking forward to following this journey with you, Sunil. Hopefully, I mean, you're pretty early, but next year we'll get you back on again and find out how you're getting on.
Would love the opportunity. Yeah. Thank you, Gareth, for having me.
Appreciate it, Sunil.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.